Most people readily understand the damage caused by child abuse. However, the effects of neglect, sometimes overlooked, can be devastating as well. In 1945, Dr. Renee Spitz recorded these scenes in a Latin American orphanage. Though fed and kept clean, these children received little physical, social, or emotional stimulation. Many died. A more recent example of neglect shocked the world as the media reported on the treatment of children in Romanian orphanages under the failed Ceausescu regime.
Well, children are in cribs in long rows. These would be children below the age of 2, 2.5. And I think the thing that's striking to any of us was that they would just lie there. They were the most passive children I had ever seen. I thought that I'd always learned and taught that children are naturally active. And for once I saw children who weren't naturally active at all. They just lay there. These children were so passive because nothing they did made any difference in the world. They weren't fed when they were hungry. They were fed when the bottles came around. They were diapered when it was time to diaper them. They could cry, but no one would come, so it didn't matter, and so they didn't cry. They could smile, but no one had time to smile back, so they didn't smile.
Bunny. Bunny? Close. How about a birdie?
Neglect is not always brutal. Sometimes, merely failing to meet the child's everyday needs for love and interaction can impair normal development.
We have one son. He's 2 years old. His name's Tommy.
Tommy? He's red? Yeah.
Tommy was referred to me because his language skills were delayed, resulting from childhood neglect. What that means is even though he was able to understand everything that people were saying around him, no one had taken the time to sit down and really talk to him and make language, expressive language, meaningful. When you have a child as an infant and a toddler, you need to talk to them, give them the names of things, tell them how things work, and this way the child starts imitating, and this is how language develops.
In a child that's neglected, it's not always the case that they don't get fed and they don't get changed and they don't get bathed. It's very often a case of more of a social neglect or an interpersonal neglect, where the child does not get enough individual personal attention from the parent, the caregiver. That can give rise to feelings of abandonment, feelings of being alone in the world on the part of this child.
Car.
Tommy is 27 months old. When I saw him originally, his expressive language age was at the 16-month to 18-month level. He was able to understand everything at his age level, but he was having difficulty expressing himself. A child may have receptive language that is within normal limits for his age because there's usually things happening in his environment. There's radio or television, particularly television, where a child can be put in front of a television set to keep them calm and entertain them, give them something to do, which a child can listen, but there's no way the child interacts. It doesn't require any verbal expression to sit in front of a television set, but the interaction of making language meaningful as a tool for him to manipulate his environment, that was not occurring.
And this one is yellow? Yellow.
Oh, what good talking. Tommy will be able to reach his chronological age as far as language skills very easily. There's no reason with a little intervention, language stimulation, a little bit of speech and language therapy, he's going to be within normal limits for his age.
The chance to go to the speech therapy and get the help that he needs, maybe, if the speech therapy is what he really needs, and the fact that now it's recognized that we had a drug problem and now we are in a drug program and we go to parenting classes, we go to drug classes 3 times a week, and I feel that if it hadn't happened, we'd probably still be doing drugs, and Tommy could probably still be somewhere with us having problems, and it would not have been recognized.